Hello. It's great to be here. So I've been practicing, I've been talking about step 4, so I've been getting conscious about doing that. And definitely what I've noticed, I've always been a kind of person to make things happen. And what's been occurring is this shift is relaxing and not forcing things, not pushing things.
Really good acknowledgement. When you say make things happen, you mean?
Like reacting. Like if something happens that I've got to take care of, I'm just like, I've immediately got to make a phone call or talk to somebody or get right on it.
When you get those impulses, in other words, when you have consistently been on that high-flying disc and thoughts occur to you, following through with action on those thoughts is a really good idea. So we just want to sort of massage this just a little bit because we can feel that you're right on this. Mm-hmm. When you say, I'm used to making things happen, we say, then step 4 was made for you in the sense that once you're in alignment, then you really want to turn up the juice, so to speak. But so many people are turning up the juice before they're in alignment, trying to use the action to compensate for the absence of alignment, and then they have a rough ride. Where if you're getting on the high-flying disc and then focusing, then it is smoother sailing.
Yeah, thanks for that distinction, because that's precisely it. There's getting alignment first and then making the call, doing what I need to do and just noticing the right person's there, they show up when they're supposed to. Things are flowing a lot easier.
Yeah, you're syncing up. You're syncing up with others. You're operating with greater leverage, and your rendezvousing is more pointed and more powerful and more beneficial, more productive. We want to give you a word to focus on because this word will keep you right in the right balance. What you're reaching for is a feeling of clarity, because when you're on that high-flying disc and you've gotten some momentum going, clarity is the emotion that is the most dominant. And so it's a sort of sure-footedness. It's a knowing about timing. It's a knowing of where to be and when to be there and what to say and who to say it to. In other words, there's just a clarity that comes in that step 4 moment. You know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a certainty. It's a certainty that people on lower discs call arrogance, or uncooperative or unyielding. It's like you just don't need to ask a bunch of people what they think when you know. And there are a lot of people that want to be part of the equation even if they're not up to speed with it. And so with that comes a sort of confidence and clarity and kindness and encouragement for them to find the vision too.
Yeah, that's so perfect. Because, it's so easy. That's what was going to be my question about asking other people their opinion and then knowing who to treat as a trusted advisor. But I think you just answered it. It's like it's right here, essentially.
The impulse to ask will just be there, and it will be in the oddest moments. In other words, you're not having a meeting where you all come together. It's that the universe orchestrates the meeting at the perfect time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One other thing. Reading Money and the Law of Attraction, I know Jerry was talking, or Esther was talking about how it drives her crazy because Jerry never, she tries to argue with him and she gets in fights, but he would never go there with her. And because he was on his high-flying disc. And I'm just curious, you've been talking about it all morning, but could you expand on the things that Jerry did more prominently through, to keep himself up there? Because obviously he was doing things consistently for a long time.
Well, the thing about that is that Esther has spent a fair amount of time thinking about that because she recognized, she witnessed, she lived his alignment. So she knew what it was. It's only in this discussion of the high-flying disc that she is now recognizing that that is what he was doing. And so to talk about the behavior or the opinions or the actions that he offered is really not as significant as his determination to feel good and his unwillingness not to. Esther would say to him occasionally, I really want to know what you think about this. And he would get that silly grin on his face and he would say, I don't think you want to know so much what I think. I think you want me to agree with what you think. Which was pretty much what she was going for. And so rather than ever striking a disagreement, He just continued to think what he thought about it. And that was Esther wanted to bring him in for some sort of compromising thing where he was not willing to compromise the way he felt. Oh, he was willing to do lots of things. We're not saying that he was rigid in any way. It's just that he was self-guided, and that gave him a confidence that made him an easy one to follow. And that was what Esther missed the most, having a partner who always gets it right and you just follow them around. And as long as you're following around somebody who's always getting it right, then you're pretty much always getting it right. But you all have this guidance to follow around. And who knew? Esther didn't know he was following that around. She was just following him around. She didn't know who he was following around. You've all got that to follow around, you see. Yeah. Helpful?
Yeah, very